Hey everybody, glad you could be here. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day. And before the show, we plan our topics. It's called show prep. And Ahmad, my producer over there, hello Ahmad, waving to Ahmad over there. He said, "So what's your topic today?" And I said, normally I take one topic and I run with it for the whole show because I don't even have enough time to discuss one topic. And I thought, well, let me see what these other guys are doing. I listen to other talk show hosts, and they kind of cover a bunch of different things. So what we're going to talk about today are some lifestyle strategies I want you to start implementing in your life. Because people say, well, Dr. Joe, I want to get healthy. I want to eat better. I want to have less pain. I want a better digestion. I just don't know where to start. So where do I start? So I'm just going to kind of spitball here a little bit with you and throw out some ideas for you. And hopefully you'll take a few and start running with them. Now, when you change your lifestyle, this is an ongoing process. I've been working on my lifestyle and my health for 35 years. And I'm still working on it. And every day I learn something new and I think, I can do this better. Let me try this recipe. This didn't work. This didn't work. Let me try this new food. One of the things I like to do is when I go to like a health food store, I know there's health food stores. What are the rest of the stores? And I'll say, let me try something different. And I'll try it. 90% of the time I'm happy. Every now and then I'm a little disappointed. But that's okay. Because you want to try new things. Because if I took everything you ate right now, regardless of what your diet is like, if you're a good eater or a bad eater, and you wrote down everything you ate for a year, I promise you I would see a pattern of about 6 things repeating themselves over and over again. Maybe it's chicken sandwiches. Maybe it's salad. Maybe it's bacon and eggs. And I'd see this pattern. So what I tell people is this. What I want you to do is if you start thinking about the 6 things you eat the most, maybe you're 8, maybe you're 10, whatever it is, and just change them with better choices. Because so often people want to make changes. They want to get better. They just don't know how. And that's what I would try to tell you is not just why to change your diet, but how to change your diet. My first book, it was called, it's still there, Eating Right for the Health of It. It tells you how to change your diet. Goes through breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, recipes are in there. It's a great book. And my second book, Prescription for Extreme Health, kind of tells you why along with the how. And it's not just food. I know people keep thinking, well, it's all about what I eat. No, it's a lot more than that. You have to worry about your nervous system. Do you have a normally functioning nervous system? Are you digesting your food properly? Do you have gas, bloating, acid reflux, heartburn, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain? So when it comes to health, there's a lot of things you need to do. So we're just going to throw some things out. And it's a lifetime plan that I want you to try to implement into your life. And you don't have to do everything. I want you to do everything. When patients come in our offices, I go over their diet with them, and I give them CDs. One CD is called The 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition, which, by the way, is a video that's on my website. And the second CD is called So What Can I Eat? And that's on my website as well. Bottom right-hand corner, just click in there, put in your email address, and I'll send you that one. It's free, no charge. And people say, okay, I got it now. Now I understand I got a plan. So if you're ready to start making some changes, I'll try to cover 10 if I can, but I'll go on and on until I get them all covered. I want you to live a longer, happier, healthy life, boost your happiness, your well-being. You become a better sister, a brother, boyfriend, girlfriend, a mother, father, because when you're healthy, life's a lot easier. So the one thing that I think I got to start with, because I came into the studio today and I saw a can of it here in the studio. Who could have that been? Somebody today was drinking soda. I want you to really cut soda out of your diet. Now, I'm going to give you an alternative, don't worry. Obesity, diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, liver, osteoporosis, acid reflux, all of these things are associated if you drink too much soda. So if you're still drinking soda on a regular basis, I want you to make a commitment. I want you to start swapping it for healthier beverages. If you like the bubbles, have sparkling water. Now, the good news is, past couple of years, we have stevia-sweetened soda, and it tastes fine. So if you have to have soda, something sweet, something bubbly with flavor, get stevia-sweetened soda, and it's perfectly okay. Now, I have a seltzer maker at home. It's a funny story real quick. My uncle, he's dead now, so I can talk about him. He worked for a soda company. I won't say what soda company, big one. And he actually hooked up a soda machine in my kitchen when I was a kid. And my friends would come over, and we would have a soda fountain in our kitchen, which everyone thought was like the coolest thing in the world. But I didn't even like the soda because if you pushed a little button on the top, you got seltzer. Now, I liked seltzer, and I drank seltzer my whole life, and I still do. So now I bought one, and they're not cheap. They're about $70, $60, $70. But if you drink a lot of seltzer, when you make it, yourself, you're going to save a ton of money. It's better for the environment to use the same container over and over again. So that would be a better choice than just drinking the plain old soda if you like the bubbles. Have a cup of tea. Have a cup of iced tea. Have lemonade. I make my own lemonade. It's real simple. Water, of course. Lemon juice, organic lemon juice. You can buy it in a bottle. And I'll add a little bit of stevia to it. I had a big glass today, as a matter of fact. And so lemonade is a great choice. Now you can make the lemonade with the seltzer if you wanted to. So people say, I don't know what to drink if it's not soda. I just gave you, 8, 10 different choices? You could always drink that one thing you probably don't drink a lot of. That's called water. You may not have heard of it. It's something new on the market. And your body really needs water. When you're thirsty, if as an adult, you're probably past the point of that you needed water. Because when you're a baby, there's a part of your brain that controls hunger and a part of your brain that controls thirst. And as you get older, those two parts of the brain grow together. And so you have a real tough time distinguishing between hunger and thirst. That's why when you're hungry, most of the time you're really thirsty. Folks, got to go to a break. I'm going to open up the lines. If you have a healthcare question, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. My website, drjoeesposito.com. Just Google Dr. Joe, number one Dr. Joe in the world. Hey, tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. I do appreciate you taking time out of your day. We're kind of giving you some lifestyle tips that you can kind of throw into your life and start doing today. Because so many people want to get healthy, they just don't know where to start because we're so indoctrinated with junk. I mean, I watch television and I can't even watch it. I just tune out when the commercials come on because so many times it's for the junk food and the fast food and, back-to-back fast food restaurants. And what's kind of cool, I think maybe it's cruel, not cool, is a lot of the chain restaurants are struggling right now. And the chain restaurants, some of them have good food, not some good choices, I should say, are kind of struggling right now because people, you, are starting to get the idea that independents are good, eating better is good, we don't want all that junk food. And so it's kind of cool. I like to think I had a little part in this and that the pendulum is swinging back the other way, that since the 80s, we've really gone to processed food and canned foods and fast foods and junk food and chemicals and steroids and hormones and antibiotics and pesticides and herbicides and tranquilizers. And now we're finally saying, wait a minute, I don't feel good when I do that. I know I was told it's okay to do, but I don't feel good. So what if I tried it the other way? And I tell my patients this, give me 60 days on average. Some people take more, some people take less. But on average, I tell my patients, give me 60 days. Let me own your health care plan for 60 days. Let me put you on the Joe Obamacare health care plan. Everybody's fighting about, what do we replace Obamacare with? Do we put this with? No, just get people well. Because nowhere, my political rant for a moment, is anyone talking about health care. They're talking about insurance. And whether you have insurance or not really isn't that important. Because if you're sick all the time, you're going to have these $5,000 deductibles you're not going to be able to meet anyway, or $6,000 or more. You're going to have these outrageous copays. And so, yeah, I want you to have insurance for catastrophic issues. I mean, if I have my arm cut off or I get shot or stabbed, I want to make sure I have insurance to cover me. But I want you to take responsibility for your own health. And that's what's missing in this big debate. That's why we need to implement Joe Obamacare. So if you consume soda, what happens is your body releases a chemical called dopamine. It stimulates your dopamine receptor sites. These are the pleasure centers in your brain. This is sugar across the board. It's physically identical to heroin, by the way. So we can take heroin and do an MRI of you, a functional MRI, and your brain lights up. And we can give you sugar and your brain lights up more. So it's actually stimulating a release of these pleasure hormones in your brain, these chemicals. This dopamine, neurotransmitters is what it is, and you want more. I'm just like you. If I have something that stimulates my dopamine receptor sites, I want more. In fact, that's what happens when you fall in love. When you first fall in love, your dopamine goes high and your serotonin drops. Now, serotonin is your logic neurotransmitter. So you may have done something stupid in the name of love because your logic went out the window and you're getting pleasure. And so you want more of this. Well, unfortunately, when it comes to love, your dopamine will drop and you will switch over from a dopamine existence and your serotonin then comes back up to normal. And isn't it funny? You've probably met people in your life and you're just crazy about them. And it's so cute the way they do this thing. And then over time, you go, I hate when they do this thing. The thing that you love most about someone is usually the thing that drives you away from them. And so as the dopamine levels start to drop, your serotonin normalizes. If you start producing oxytocin, which is a bonding neurotransmitter, then the relationship stays together. If you don't start producing oxytocin, you go, this person's driving me crazy. I got to get him out of my life. And so it's, what's love got to do with it, right? It really is a chemical reaction. And so if you can switch from the dopamine stage into the oxytocin stage, the relationship can survive. If it doesn't, you really get annoyed by that person. And you regret that you ever met that person. And so sugar is stimulating those dopamine receptor sites, and you're getting high from it. And that explains why it's so difficult to give up your daily soda fix. It can be done. You just have to work through it. Now, don't make the mistake of switching to things like diet soda. Research shows that actually wreaks the same amount or worse havoc on your metabolism, and it messes with you just as bad or worse than sugar. Now, there's two major sweeteners that are on the market. Well, there's a bunch of them. There's three actually big ones. But let's talk about aspartame for just a second. If you're doing diet sodas, your brain cannot work normally because aspartame breaks down to three components: aspartic acid, phenylalanine, and methyl esters. Don't worry about the chemistry. Aspartic acid by itself, when you take large doses of it, stimulates your brain. It's an excitotoxin. It excites your brain, and your nerves in your brain fire faster than they're supposed to. And eventually, you can actually burn out brain cells from it. So aspartic acid in concentrated form, not a good idea. It also breaks down into methyl esters. Methyl esters is methanol. Methanol is wood alcohol. And if you've ever noticed this, people that are alcoholics, that are now sober, many times choose to drink diet soda excessively. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is. Because the methanol is wood alcohol. They're drinking alcohol. So they're drinking small amounts of alcohol when they're drinking their diet soda. So if you're an alcoholic, stay away from the artificial sweeteners because it's not helping your brain heal. And then methanol converts into formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a class A carcinogenic, the worst there is. Pretty toxic. And then phenylalanine, the last component, can cause things like phenylketonuria. If you have that condition, can aggravate it and can cause real serious kidney damage. So artificial sweetener's not any better. Now, maybe you use sucralose, the little yellow packet. Sucralose, not much better. It's bad for different reasons. It stimulates your estrogen receptor sites. Now, estrogen, in small amounts, we all have it, and it's necessary. It's a growth hormone. But in large amounts can cause abnormal cell growth. Abnormal, unchecked cell growth is called cancer. Now, the studies are still out whether sucralose is directly linked to cancer or not. But in my mind, I believe this is going to be the future. This is what we're going to find in the future, direct correlations. So I wouldn't do the artificial sweetener either. Now, the good news is you can do stevia. Stevia is fine. Like I said, I do lemonade with it. You can mix soda with it. Mix your own soda if you want to. There's pre-made stevia sweetened soda. I just saw the other day there's stevia with cucumber and lime, I think it was. And it was really good. It wasn't quite as heavy as a soda. It was more like a refreshing, bubbly water. And that was really good, too, sweetened with just a touch of stevia. So not as strong as soda flavor, but that was pretty tasty, too. And so when it's on sale, stock up. It's pretty simple. That's what I do. So we're talking today about little things that you can do every single day to help your body get healthy. These are just kind of little health tips, strategies. How about that? I want you to consider this. I want you to consider having an avocado every day. Now, avocados are really amazing little things. They're really fruit. And avocados, they're so rich in monounsaturated fat, your body easily can utilize it for energy. Now, so many times people say, well, I'm tired all the time. I don't want to do anything. I'm tired. That's the sugar. If you start giving yourself good fats, like monounsaturated fats, and coconut oil is another good fat that the body starts converting into ketones and utilizes as fuel. Because they're so rich in fatty acids, avocado actually helps your body absorb something called fat-soluble nutrients from other foods. Now, what the heck's a fat-soluble nutrient? Vitamins A, D, E, and K are fat-soluble. And if you don't have enough fat in your diet, you can't absorb the A, D, E, and K. This is why I'm not a big advocate of a fat-free diet. In fact, you should have fat, more fat, not less. And that's a big issue. So you got to make sure you're getting enough fat. This is why I don't want you using fat-free salad dressings. You think, well, I'm using fat-free salad dressing. It has less calories, and I'm going to lose weight, and I'm going to look so wonderful in my bathing suit. No, it doesn't work that way because you need the fat to absorb the A, D, E, and K. And if you're eating a good salad, it's going to have a lot of A, D, E, and K. I mean, did you know that romaine lettuce has omega-3 fatty acids in it? How cool is that? So in order to absorb these foods, these nutrients, you have to have some fat. So use good fats. Coconut oil is a good idea. Extra virgin olive oil is a good idea. Avocado oil is a good idea. And so you want more fat in your diet, not less. That's where the problem comes in. So we're talking about avocados. Research has shown adding avocados to a salad allows your body to absorb 3 to 5 times more carotenoids, antioxidants, and other nutrients that help protect your body against free radical damage. 3 to 5 times more absorption. So here you are eating a good food. Good job. Proud of you. Pat on the back. But you're not absorbing all the nutrients. Not a good idea. Avocados also provide close to 20 essential immune-boosting and health-boosting nutrients, including potassium, vitamin E, vitamin B, including folate. Avocados have a long list of potential health benefits. And the cool part about avocados is they're high in fat. And fat makes you feel full. Fat goes up into the hypothalamus in your brain, and you feel full. So many times people say, well, gosh, I'm eating this plant-based diet, and I'm starving all the time. Add some fat to it, and you'll be amazed. Get yourself little bags of nuts if you have to. Almonds, walnuts, pecans, pistachios. Or get them in a big bag. Buy them in bulk. It's cheaper. And just eat a few handfuls of nuts every day. Because the fat in the nuts are going to make you feel full. Neat little trick you can do. Take some extra virgin coconut oil. Have a cup of tea in the morning. Add about a teaspoon or a tablespoon of coconut oil to your tea. You'll be amazed how good you feel in the morning. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a healthcare question, I'm going to open up the lines. 844-44-Dr.Joe. 844-44-DRJOE. My website, I archive radio shows there. We have supplements available there, my books. If you have questions, send them to me through the website, drjoeesposito.com. Just Google Dr. Joe. Oh, by the way, like me on Facebook, too. You can send me questions when I'm on the air, too. drjoeesposito.com. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for telling your friends about the show. It's always fun when I'm on the air and I'll say, hey, like me on Facebook, and the Facebook page just lights up because we send out good stuff on Facebook. So just go to Facebook/Dr. Joe Esposito, like my page, and we send out fun information when I'm doing live lectures. Love to have you come out to the live lectures, folks, and we do them all over the place. So if you like me there, you get that information as well because live ones are fun because there's so many things I can't show you when I'm on the radio because so much of healthcare is physical, not chemical. I can teach you all day how to take care of yourself and eat right, get rid of the toxic chemicals in your life. And a lot of you do it, which I appreciate, but sometimes there's something physical that you just can't help. A pinched nerve, a bone out of place, a stomach pushed up against your diaphragm causing acid reflux or heartburn, maybe a foot bone out of place causing your knee to shift, throwing your hips out. So we like to check, if we can, all 206 bones in the body to see what's going on because anytime you have a bone out of place, it's going to be pinching a nerve. And as a chiropractor, that's what I am. I'm board certified in chiropractic, orthopedics, pain management, double board certified in nutrition. That's 5 board certifications. Award-winning author. This radio show is nationally syndicated and then heard all over the world, of course, with the internet. So if you're listening in another country or around the country, welcome, guys. Glad you could be here. And so there's a lot of information that we give out. And as a chiropractor, my job is to get the nervous system working, the digestive system working, and good nutrition. See, just then, my Facebook lit up with people liking the page, which is great. So like us, it's a lot of fun. We'll give you good information, and sometimes we'll send out little links, free stuff you could link into. If we have sales on my supplements, sometimes we'll put supplements on sale. You want to know about that right away. If you've never taken Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, really good stuff. It's the ultimate supplements as far as I'm concerned in the world. And they're 2 powders I have sitting in front of me right now. And it's the minimum amount of nutrients you need just to get your day going. And I take it at least once a day. They're 2 powders. They taste great. drjoeesposito.com. You can get them there. So we're talking today about strategies that you can implement into your life to try to get well. And I want to talk a little bit more about avocados. They have anti-inflammatory properties. And as a chiropractor, that's really important to me. Because when you have pain, there's always inflammation. And we need to relieve the cause of the pain, not just treat the symptoms, but find out the cause of the pain. But I also want you to get on a good diet that's going to help reduce the pain. Research suggests it can improve your lipid profile, so your blood will change, protects against liver damage, it can inhibit oral cancers. I personally eat about an avocado a day. Now, what I usually do is I wait till they're on sale. I buy a bunch of them, and then I'll ripen them. And as they ripen, I'll put them in the refrigerator. Try to ripen them first, and they should feel, how do you know when an avocado's ripe if you're not used to them? Just touching gently the tip of your nose, that's what an avocado should feel like when it's ripe, when you push on the skin. Put it in the refrigerator. It'll last several days after that. I just cut them open, take the pit out, put a little salt on it. Maybe I'll add some olive oil to it just to get crazy, and more fat, which is good, and just scoop it right out of the shell. Now you can make guacamole, put it on sandwiches, put it in salads. I'm lazy. I like to eat it quick. So really a good idea because with the inflammation, if you have inflammation, you don't want to ignore that. I had somebody come in the other day and his hand was itching. And he says, Doc, my hand itches really bad. And when I touched his hand, it was just inflamed, mushy. I don't know what word to use. And it just didn't feel right. And so we started talking a little bit. And of course, his diet was just awful. And he does construction work. So his hands were constantly in chemicals that are flaring it up as well. So I suggested maybe wearing gloves if you're mixing concrete or something along those lines, and then getting off the bad diet. He says, yeah, but it's so easy. And I know you're thinking it too. It's so easy to eat bad food. You know, you stop at a gas station. Now, gas stations have restaurants in them. One-stop shopping. Go to the bathroom, get lunch, stack up on snacks, and leave. Doesn't mean it's good for you just because it's convenient. So we want to get that inflammation down, and things like avocados are really good for bringing inflammation down. Plant-based diet is really the best thing for bringing inflammation down because the 7 deadly sins are the things that cause inflammation chemically. Alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener. My God, that's everything. That's your whole diet. Everyone says that. Oh, it's my whole diet, Dr. Joe. What am I going to eat? 120,000 good foods you can eat. I'm guessing that number. And if you go to my website on the bottom right-hand corner, you type in, it'll say, so what can I eat? Type in your email address. I'll send you that link because it's not hard. It's easy. But we got to get that inflammation down. Another thing you might want to consider, this is a little more advanced when it comes to little tips I can give you, is eating fermented vegetables. Fermented foods are potent chelators. What's a chelator? It detoxifies your body. Chelators bind onto toxic chemicals and pull them out of your body. And they contain much higher levels of good bacteria than even probiotic supplements. I get the question all the time, well, Dr. Joe, what's a good probiotic? Well, the best probiotic would be fermented vegetables. If you don't know how to make it, you could do kimchi, sauerkraut. Those are the easy ones. Just go online and look up kimchi recipe or sauerkraut recipe. If you buy it pre-made, many times it's been pasteurized. When you pasteurize something, you want to kill off the bad bacteria, but you also kill off the good bacteria. So it's better you make it yourself. Again, it's a little advanced stuff. Giving you a little advanced stuff as well. Just a quarter cup to a half cup of fermented vegetables a day can really dramatically impact your health. And all you got to do is look them up online, make them yourself. Cabbage is one of the things that ferments very well. And you probably never thought the question, because I think weird things, why cabbage? How did cabbage get this thing that ferments so well? Cabbage has naturally occurring probiotics in the cabbage. And so when you add like just salt to it, let's say, if you're going to make sauerkraut, you can just add salt to it, press it down, and it'll start to ferment. Because the cabbage itself is good. So if you're going to eat greens, you should have a salad every day, at least one salad a day. Try adding some cabbage into your life. Now, don't cook it. You can cook it. It's fine. But if you don't cook it, you keep the probiotics alive. And that's what's really good for you is those good bacteria. Because you got to realize there's over 100 different types of bacteria in your colon. Most of them good, some of them bad. And if you're eating foods that have antibiotics in them, like commercial meats, commercial dairy products, the antibiotics over time can kill off the good bacteria. And then the bad stuff can start to take over, and it really weakens your immune system. So eating things like coleslaw, for example, spectacular. It's really a good choice. And you can buy bags, if you're lazy, you can buy bags of pre-shredded cabbage. Way more expensive than buying just a head of cabbage and shredding it yourself. And just add a little apple cider vinegar to it. A little extra virgin olive oil, maybe some salt and pepper. And you've got coleslaw. Doesn't have to be, fancy with the mayonnaise and the sour cream. Just add a little apple cider vinegar, which, by the way, if it's organic apple cider vinegar, also has probiotics in it. So now we're really feeding our colon, building up our immune system and keeping ourselves healthy. Cabbage is also high in sulfur. And sulfur can help your joints because as a chiropractor, again, my job is I want to get your joints healthy. And so by eating things that are high in sulfur, the cruciferous vegetables can really help joint health. Now, useless fact, why do we call them cruciferous vegetables? Cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Because when the flowers form on the plant, they're in the shape of a crucifix. That's why they're called cruciferous. How about that? Useless information. But adding things that are high in sulfur to your diet are really good for your joints, because if you have pain, I don't want you to ignore the pain. Stop ignoring the pain. The pain is trying to tell you something's wrong. And you ignore it, and you may cover it up with pills, which I'm not against. I'm not against drugs or surgery. But you cover it up without ever getting to the cause. And eventually, read the side effects of those medications. 100% of them have side effects. There is no side effect if you get healthy. It's kind of cool. So get your body healthy. It's not hard. It's easy. Folks, got to go to a break. My phone number here at the studio, 844-44-Dr.Joe, 844-44-DRJOE. That number, by the way, rings to my office when I'm not on the air. So you can always call me if you have questions, want to make appointments. The supplements, Dr. Joe Super Greens, all on the website, drjoeesposito.com. Hey, give us a call, 844-44-Dr.Joe. We will be right back. I am so happy that you're here. I do appreciate you taking time out of your day. And we're talking today, just kind of give you some strategies that you can start incorporating into your life every single day to try to get better. Because this is a journey. This isn't a destination. You never get to the point where you want to be, but that's the fun of it. Try new things. Hey, I tried this. Gosh, I just didn't like it. Or, wow, this was amazing. This was so much better than I thought it would ever been when it comes to food, when it comes to health care. The biggest complaint I get in my offices is, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I listen to you sooner? Why didn't I get those pinched nerves fixed? Why didn't I get my diet straightened out? Why didn't I get on supplements like Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source? That stuff's amazing. Every week, we're selling more and more of it because once people try it, they're like, this is amazing. It's so easy. Scoop of each. I use coconut milk or almond milk. Shake it up. I shake it up because it dissolves better. And drink it. And after a day or two or a week, they're going, wow, this is what normal feels like. Most people don't even know what normal feels like. So giving you some little strategies that you can add to your lifestyle every single day. This is a fun one, and I do this one. It's kind of neat. I want you to donate blood and also get your vitamin D levels checked and your omega-3 fatty acids. You got to get omega-3 fatty acids into your diet. Now, I don't sell omega-3 fatty acids. There's three types. There's fish oil, which is the most common one, not something I recommend because a lot of fish oils have mercury in it, and also the fish oils have to be converted into something called the phospholipid form. Krill oil is already in the phospholipid form and very low risk of mercury contamination. So if you're going to do one of the two, I'd say do krill oil more than fish oil, and I'd recommend about 1 gram a day. I don't do animal products. I've been a vegan for over 30 years. I'm not asking you to do that. I think you should, but I'm not going to scare you with that one. So I do algae oil, and I do 1 gram a day. And the omega-3 fatty acids are amazing for brain function. They're anti-inflammatory. Most of us, well, ideally, we should have 1 omega-3 to 1 omega-6 fatty acid in our diet. Most people have, well, not most, a lot of people have 20 omega-6s to 1 omega-3. And those omega-6s cause a lot of inflammation. Again, as a chiropractor, I'm trying to bring down your inflammation, not increase your inflammation. So it's a really good idea to get those omega-3 fatty acids up. I'll talk a little bit more about blood in a second, but let's go to the calls. We have lots of calls. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr.Joe. Daniel, how can we make your day better?
Yes, Dr. Joe, thank you very much. I want to ask about this drink, kombucha, homemade kombucha. Is that good or is it bad for us?
It's excellent. Kombucha is great because kombucha is fermentation, and you can make it yourself. You get a starter, it's called, and you make the kombucha. It's wonderful. I'll give you a little fun fact about kombucha. Lindsay Lohan, for a while, was getting in trouble with the law, and she got for drinking a lot. And one time she went to court, and she told the judge that, well, I wasn't drinking alcohol. I was drinking kombucha because when you ferment it, it produces a little bit of alcohol. And that's why her blood levels were high. Well, because of that, all the kombucha in the country had to be pulled off the shelves, and now it's pasteurized. So you said the key word, Daniel, I like homemade kombucha. Because if you buy it commercially, it's still okay, but it's been pasteurized. The homemade stuff you make yourself, it's not pasteurized. It's wonderful. It's a great source of probiotics or good bacteria.
How much would you drink a day?
Well, 8 ounces a day is fine, 6 ounces a day. Now, if you have trouble with alcoholism, I'm going to recommend you don't drink kombucha because it does have a little bit of alcohol in it. Okay? Good stuff.
I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for calling, Daniel. I appreciate that. All right, folks. Also, you can like me on Facebook, Dr. Joe at Facebook / Dr. Joe Esposito, and you can send me questions through Facebook. Send them through my website. I'm more than happy to answer your questions, drjoeesposito.com. Bunny, how can we make your day better?
Hey, guess who it is?
I think I know who it is. Is it my favorite bunny in the world?
My picture is on your wall in your office. Yes, you used to call me the Yak.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was a D-R-E-E. Anyway, I've so missed you very much.
Well, where have you been?
I have been good. I've been wanting to, every time I hear you call and tell people that you do know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Especially with inflammation.
Yes.
I used to bring my little girl. She was 2. Katie's now going to have a baby. She's 31.
No way. Really?
Yeah, I know. And we've been doing your anything for inflammation and those 2 cookbooks you had. One was about soup.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember the other one. But I'm ready to go out and get, if you have another book, to enjoy it. And I'm trying to tell my friends about you and about inflammation. It's everything. You know, my husband died last year. So sorry.
I'm sorry.
But you know, the crap stuff you go through, lots of inflammation. And so I ordered some honey from a man at church today who has his own bees, and he said that will help.
Honey's it's okay, but honey's high in fructose, and fructose has to be converted into glucose in your liver, and when that occurs, you produce something called uric acid, and uric acid gets in your joints and it hurts. So I wouldn't suggest that you do a lot of honey. A little bit if it's homegrown, probably not bad, but too much of it is not a good thing. So.
Okay.
What else? Well, my new book, Bunny. That's right, my new book. It's called Prescription for Extreme Health. You can get it at my offices or on my website, drjoeesposito.com. It's a really good book, by the way. I think you'll enjoy it.
I'm sure I will. And I sure do miss you.
Well, it's so good to hear from you. Come back and visit us. We're still in the same place.
I promise I will.
Yeah, 32 years in the same place. Well, you can still come back and visit us. Great.
Okie dokie.
All right, Bunny. Tell your daughter congratulations. So good to hear from you. Thanks a lot.
Dr. Joe.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Gosh, I've been around a long time. Carmen, how can we make your day better?
My brain wasn't working fast enough when you went over the omegas.
Yes.
And how do I get omega-3?
Okay.
The 2 omegas, I remembered the 3, but I couldn't remember the other one.
Got it.
And, okay.
Okay, omega-3s.
And give me your address of your office, too.
Oh, okay. The office, if you go to my website, drjoeesposito.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I will do that.
It's all there. Yeah, and we have 3 offices, so it depends which one. You'd be the closest to Marietta, though.
Yes,
omega-3 fatty acids they're great for inflammation. Everybody needs them. And you can go to my the omega-3s from fish, not my favorite choice, okay, because it can be contaminated.
Okay, I don't like fish anymore.
Okay, and you may burp up fish tastes and everything. You can do krill oil, Krill, which is a great source of omega-3 fatty acids. However, it's still an animal product, or you can do the algae oils, but those are pretty expensive, but those are the ones I do.
Okay.
Okay?
That's what I need to know. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Yeah, so we're talking about little tips that you can do every single day to help get yourself healthy. And so omega-3s are a good one. And somebody just sent me one on Facebook too. And Pamela, I'm gonna make you call in. The number is 844-44-Dr.Joe. And she wanted me to answer it on Facebook. And I'm gonna make her call in. 844-44-Dr.Joe. But it's a great question actually. So we're talking about a little blood work here. And hold on. If you're on hold, folks, with questions, I'm going to get to you, so keep holding on. Donating blood is really a good idea. Now, anemia can be a concern for some. It's a far greater, less concern, and this is never talked about much, is iron overload. In fact, most adult men and non-menstruating women have damaging levels of iron that if you leave it untreated, can damage your organs and contribute to things like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases, and a lot of other disorders. So that's interesting. Nobody ever talks about too much iron. We always talk about too little iron. So the serum ferritin, which is your iron level, it measures your stored iron. I recommend adults get it tested on an annual basis. When you get your blood work done, just go ahead and get it checked. And you're looking for about somewhere between 20 and 80 nanograms per milliliter, but those are big numbers. You're probably not going to remember that. You don't want it higher than 80 nanograms per milliliter. As a general rule, somewhere between 40 and 60. Now, when you get your results, be sure to check what the normal levels are. Many times, the blood work, I feel, is too high. They're saying that the normal levels are too high. Because if you have too much iron, this is very simply put, it essentially rusts inside your body and can lead to heart disease. And this is one of the theories as to why men have higher risk of heart attacks or heart disease than women. Because men don't menstruate. And then women, after menopause, of course, becomes an issue. So it's a really good idea. Go donate blood. Donate 3-4 times a year. It's what I do, and I think it's a great way to get yourself healthy. Folks, got to go to break. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Joe. That number rings through to my office when I'm not on the air. My website, if you want to order Dr. Joe's Super Greens, an essential source. My books, if you have questions. Archived radio shows out the wazoo, stored on my website, absolutely no charge. And videos of my lectures. DrJoeEsposito.com, or just Google Dr. Joe with the number one Dr. Joe in the world because of you. Hey, folks, got to go to break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. I am so glad that you're listening. Thanks so much for being here. I do appreciate your time. And today we're talking about little tidbits or little fun facts or strategies that you can implement into your life every single day that are really going to help you. Now, one of the things I like to do, and I do this on a regular basis, is donate blood. Because for men especially, if the iron gets too high, and women too, if you're past childbearing years, if the iron gets too high in your blood, it can lead to all sorts of problems. And that's why if you look at a good men's supplement, if it's a multi-supplement, many times they even take the iron out. And there's also different types of iron. There's heme iron, which comes from blood. Heme meaning, heme, like a hematologist. And that comes from animals. So if you're eating animals, you're eating the blood of an animal, you're going to get heme. And there's non-heme iron as well. Non-heme iron comes from plants. Well, the problem is that you don't absorb non-heme iron as well as you absorb heme iron. Well, that's an issue, but nature has handled it for us. As long as vitamin C is present, real vitamin C, there's fake vitamin C, which is ascorbic acid. It's only 1/8 of the vitamin C molecule. We want the whole vitamin C molecule. As long as there's vitamin C present with the non-heme iron, you're going to get plenty of iron absorbed. And so if you don't eat animal products, sources of iron would be anything green, anything red, cranberries, rhubarb, red beans, nuts, lettuce. Anything red or green is going to give you a good source of iron. But it's a good idea to give blood if you can and get it checked out. A friend of mine was a nurse, well, still is a nurse, but a little trick that she used if she started dating someone they thought was going to go to another level, she would ask the question, do you ever donate blood? And if the answer is yes, you'd kind of dig a little deeper. Well, how often? Because if your blood comes back tainted with transmittable diseases, they won't accept your blood anymore. So it's a kind of a subtle little way to find out what's going on in that arena anyway. But that's a neat little trick. Vitamin D, I also recommend everybody take vitamin D. Very seldom do I ever see somebody come in my offices with normal vitamin D levels. And there's different ways to get vitamin D. The best way is get out in the sun. 20 minutes in the sun, arms and face and neck exposed, will give you upwards toward 20,000 international units of vitamin D. Now, you need vitamin D because your body uses it to build bone. It helps the immune system. In fact, there's studies now showing that vitamin D may be very helpful it can be very helpful in fighting the flu if you have normal vitamin D levels. So you got to get the vitamin D up. Now, in the winter or before spring, I'd say, I take 5,000 international units a day as a supplement. You can get it from several different sources. Number one, you can get it from fish oil, which, again, I'm not a big fan of. You can get it from lanolin, which is sheep wool. I don't know who figured out sheep wool has vitamin D in it, but it's vitamin D3, not vitamin D2. I get this question almost every day in my office. Well, I was prescribed vitamin D2. I'm not a medical doctor, folks. I can't tell you to take prescriptions or not. I can tell you that vitamin D3 is way more effective, probably 100 more times more effective than vitamin D2. That's why they give you 50,000 units of vitamin D2 when you really only need about 5,000 units of vitamin D3. And the vitamin D3 is cheaper, too, by the way. You can also get it from algae as well, a little more expensive. All right, let's go back to the calls. Got lots of calls today. Pam, how can we make your day better today?
Hello, Dr. Joe. How are you?
I'm well, Pamela. You have a good question.
I do. Well, I have a statement and a question.
Go ahead.
You were talking about omega-3s earlier. So I get my omega-3s from eating a tablespoon or so of ground flax seeds per day.
Excellent.
And you also mentioned, though, that you need some omega-3 and omega-6. I'm not sure if I'm getting enough omega-6 or even the right amount.
Uh-huh.
So how can I get that, and how can I make sure my ratios are correct.
Okay, the answer is I've never known anyone not to get enough omega-6s. So as long as you're alive,
Ah.
the chances are pretty good you're getting omega-6s, okay?
Okay.
The omega-3s. Now, I'm vegan. It's a big issue.
Yep.
Okay, you're vegan too?
I've been vegan for 11 years.
Good girl. You go, girl. Now,
Yep.
yes, you can convert the ALA form of omega-3 fatty acids into the DHA and the EPA form. Now, there's a series of enzymes that have to occur and make sure that conversion is happening. So I've had a lot of people tested, especially vegans, and they're low in omega-3s.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that's why I like to use the algae oil, because I take a gram of algae oil a day just to make sure I'm getting the DHA and the EPA. And those are the ones that's a usable form in humans.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't realize that about the enzymes, but that makes sense.
A lot of vegans don't know that, and that's why I've got to
Yeah.
get us all on the track here. So, yeah, I think you'd
Great.
be very happy if you do that. And there's a couple of brands out there. They're a little expensive, but again, you know as a vegan how much money you're saving. It's just crazy, right?
Yes.
It's just insane. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely better in the long term as far as health costs go as well. So.
Sure. Health costs, food costs, more fun. I agree
yeah.
with you. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So does that answer your questions?
Great. It does. Thank you
Well,
very much.
so good to hear from you, Pamela. Thanks so much. Hope to see you soon. All right.
All right.
Bye. All right, folks, keep taking questions here. Shay, how can we make your day better?
I was just diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, and I don't know if there's anything specific that you could help me.
Oh, absolutely. No, we see trigeminal neuralgia cases all the time. For folks who don't know what that is, that's a nerve in your face, and it has 3 branches. That's why it's called trigeminal. Okay, neuralgia is pain along the nerve, and it hurts like a son of a gun, doesn't it?
It's the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Yes. All right. So here's what you may not have heard about this. The cranial nerves, these are the nerves that go directly from your brain to your body. There's the 12 of them. The other nerves go through your spinal cord and then out to your body. So they kind of synapse and cross other things. But the cranial nerves go directly out into the body. So this is why break time again? Oh my gosh. Can you hang on, Shay? This is a really good question. I got to go a little into this, okay? So you hold on one second.
Okay.
Thanks so much. Folks, if you have a healthcare question, 844-44-Dr.Joe, my website, drjoeesposito.com. You can order Super Greens, Essential Source, my books, make appointments, send me questions through the website, archive radio shows, videos of my lectures, lots of good stuff on the website. It's there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, drjoeesposito.com. Hey, folks, I got to go to break, so do me a favor. Tell your friends about the show. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. Hey, everybody, thanks for listening. Do appreciate you taking time out of your day. And thanks for telling your friends about the show because, obviously, just since the time we've been on the air, so many of you have liked my page on my Facebook. Go to Facebook/Dr. Joe Esposito. Like my page. Send out lots of good information there. Now, before we went to a break, we had Shay on the line. Shay, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you said you were talking about trigeminal neuralgia, which is a horrible, painful situation in the face. And we were saying that the trigeminal nerve is one of the cranial nerves, and it literally comes right out of your skull and goes right into your face. It connects directly into the brain. So what I find a lot of times with trigeminal neuralgia cases is the skull shifts just a little bit on the atlas, which is the top bone in your neck. And when it shifts sideways, you kind of kink off the trigeminal nerve. And that hurts. Now, it could be a viral infection as well. Sometimes you have a virus going on in your trigeminal nerve. So what I do with trigeminal cases is I check the skull, and if it is out of place, we shift it back into place, which is very common. And then we make sure that if it is a viral infection, that we get you on a really good diet to build up the immune system. Because if there's a virus going on in the body, we've got to do everything we can to kill off that virus. But again, I've seen, and like you said, it's a suicide disease. People get it so bad they want to kill themselves because nothing really relieves the pain because the skull is shifted in many cases. So you got to treat the virus.
Well, I had an automobile accident in June of 2014 where the airbag went off in my face.
There you go.
My neurologist thinks that may have something to do with it.
See how smart we are here at the radio station? Yes, the chances are that probably started it, shifted the skull, irritated the trigeminal nerve, and that may have caused it. So, yeah, I would check your skull. I would check to get the immune system built up. Dr. Joe's Super Greens, Dr. Joe's Essential Source. We got immune-boosting supplements I would recommend. And in most cases, not all, but in most cases, we get great results in cases like yours. So why don't you come see us and see if we can get it fixed?
So well, then I guess I will call and schedule an appointment then
Yeah.
because this is just horrible.
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I know. When patients come in, they'll do anything to get it fixed. Now, when I'm not on the air, 844-44-Dr. Joe rings through to my office, or you can go to the website, drjoeesposito.com, and we can get that set up as soon as possible for you. How about that?
Great. I really appreciate it.
My
Thank
pleasure,
you for
Shay.
the
Thanks.
advice.
Oh, you're welcome. So glad you called. Love this job. What a great job I have, getting people well. Man, I wake up every day. I've been in practice 32 years. When I wake up, and I was very young, by the way, when I went to practice, just so you know that. I was really smart. But I just get so excited because I wonder how many patients are going to get relief and health back, if they never had it, maybe just health to start with, today. I think that every day, and I meet with my doctors every day, and we talk about this, and it's just so exciting to watch people get well. And I want to give you the tools that you can use every day so you don't have to rely on us so much. Because, yeah, we want to be your doctors. We want you to come see us. We want to treat you. But I want you to take control of your own health because no matter what happens in the healthcare world, and if you've been around even just a few years, you've seen healthcare change. Well, you've seen insurance change dramatically in the past couple of years. From really good to really bad to HMOs to PPOs to being in network, out of network to everybody has to buy insurance. People don't have to buy insurance. What's covered, what's not. Doctors dropping out. You're seeing a doctor shortage. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's very, very big that doctors just don't want to be doctors anymore. It's too much work. It's too much paperwork. It's too much risk. And doctors saying, gosh, I can get a degree in computer programming and make more money than a doctor. And then I just work, 9 to 5, 5 days a week. So you're seeing that we're driving doctors away from the healthcare field. So now more than ever, you need to take responsibility for your own health. So doing things like taking vitamin D, donating blood, get your blood checked. They'll check your blood and everything for you when they draw it, and they'll see if you have enough iron. If you have too much iron, they'll tell you. And it's just a good idea to do these things every single day to implement. Get moving. A lot of people sit around too much. And you've got to get the body in motion. And think, what can you do to get the body in motion? When I do radio, I stand up. Could I sit down? Yeah, I could. But I want to stand up. Number one, it opens up my lungs so I can breathe better. It's a little tip I got from my friend Kelly McCoy. And you also, you want to get your energy flowing. And if I'm sitting down, my body goes into what's called the parasympathetic mode. There's two types of nerves in your body. One speeds you up, one slows you down. Speed up mode, sympathetic. Parasympathetic, slow down. So I remember S&S, speed up and sympathetics. And I want to keep my body in the sympathetic mode. Then when I rest, I'll shift into the parasympathetic mode. But so many people are running in the parasympathetic mode all day, every day. They're not kicking into the higher gear. And that's not a healthy place to be. So get up and move. It's a real good idea. Let's go back to the callers. If you have a question, 844-44-Dr. Jan, how can we make your day better?
Hey, I'm calling to see if you've heard of the Arctic Red Ruby Oil and Asta D.
Astaxanthin. Is that what you're trying to say?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Asta D is all I know.
Okay, yeah. It's okay, but again, I'm not a big fan of the fish oils because the fish oils have to be converted into the phospholipid form. Astaxanthin, an amazing antioxidant, and it's the thing that makes flamingos pink. And what happens is it's an algae, and that's why shrimp are pink. But it's an algae, and when the sunlight hits the algae, it has to produce something to protect itself. And so it produces this astaxanthin, which is this amazing antioxidant, which is great. So I like the astaxanthin. I have no problem with that. But once again, I'd rather go to the purest form of omega-3 fatty acids, which would be chlorella, spirulina, and the algae. In fact, in my essential super greens, we add chlorella and spirulina, because I find it's the purest form of the omega-3 fatty acids. And I don't want you taking a supplement that can cause damage. So I don't want to take a chance on that. That's why I go with the purest form.
But you're, it's my understanding this Arctic Ruby Red is, but I guess most of the doctors I've talked with, my personal doctors, they never heard of it, and they just called it fish oil.
Yeah, well, it comes from the crustaceans, I think.
If you're familiar with it, then
Jan, you'd be amazed how much I read. It scares me how much I read. So, so I want to download my brain so somebody else can have all this information someday. So
that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I know the algae oils are more expensive, but the money you save when you change your diet, when you get things like chiropractic care, because chiropractic care is so ridiculously inexpensive for the results you get. I mean, for the cost comparison is just amazing. In fact, studies now show, chiropractic care more effective on back pain than medical care. American Medical Association recommending you do conservative treatments first, like chiropractic, before you go into surgery. So, this trend that I knew about for the past several decades is now finally coming to fruition. So I like to do things right. It's a whole lot cheaper than doing it wrong. Okay?
That's true.
You see?
Okay, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for calling. Let's see. Where are we now? I'll talk a little bit, and then we'll take some more calls after the break. Folks, if you have a question, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Let's talk about staying in motion. There's about 10,000 published studies that confirm that sitting is an independent risk factor for illness and premature death. Holy cow. 10,000 studies saying that your job could be killing you. And in fact, inactivity carries a mortality risk similar to that of smoking. Isn't that crazy? So it's important to realize your body is designed to be in motion. So with chiropractic care, we keep the spine in motion. You got to keep your body in motion. We got to get the nervous system working. If you have acid reflux or heartburn, we may have to pull the stomach away from the diaphragm to get everything working. Folks, got to go to break, 844-44 Dr. Joe. That number rings through to my office when I'm not on the air. My website, drjoeesposito.com. If you want to get Super Greens, Essential Source, other supplements, books, questions, it's all there, drjoeesposito.com. Hey, got to go to break. Tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, thanks for listening. Do appreciate you taking time out of your day. And we're talking today about little tidbits, little fun facts or suggestions, strategies that you can implement into your life to help get you healthier. And a couple of things I want you to do and a couple of things I want you to not do. And that's what's cool about most nutrition is that when it comes to nutrition, a lot of it is passive, not active. You have to not do something. That's what's so cool about that, because so many times people want to do something. But if you avoid the bad foods, what I call the 7 deadly sins of nutrition, alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, you're going to do a lot better in life. You're going to be amazed how much better your life changes probably within a couple of days. Again, the biggest complaint I get, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't somebody else tell me? That's what a lot of people don't know. They know what they know, but you don't know what you don't know. And that's why this show is available to you. And that's why I archive all my shows on my website. Because so many times we have to hear things over and over and over again to remember it. And so we have hundreds of hours of shows archived on my website, drjoeesposito.com. Just Google Dr. Joe. It's really easy to find. And we started talking a little bit about you got to get moving. You got to keep your body in motion because the body is designed to be in motion. In fact, way back when I went to chiropractic school a couple of hundred years ago, one of the things we were taught is when you check the spine to see if there's pinched nerves, you feel for something called a fixation. Fixation means that bone isn't moving as well as the other ones. And we'd palpate for fixations, and then we'd adjust the patient and then check again, and you'd feel the mobility come back. And it was really cool. Now, I've been doing this for so many years, it's second nature, but it was just amazing to me that you can mobilize a joint, put it back in place, and restore normal function. And when you did that, you unpinch the nerve. Because the problem is this, 90% of your nerves don't feel pain. So you can have a pinched nerve and not know it. That's a little tricky. So you could have a pinched nerve going to your liver, your spleen, your thyroid, your kidneys, your earwax, your toenails. And if you don't feel it, you don't know it's a problem until you start to see the symptoms further on down the road. So you want to keep the body in motion and the joints in motion as well. So a neat little thing you can do is set a goal for taking about 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. Now, that sounds like a lot. It's really not. It's only about 3 miles a day. Most people take about 3,000 to 4,000 steps a day anyway. So you just have to kick it up a notch. This is going to go a long way in keeping you in motion and less sitting in your life. This should be above and beyond any other exercise regimen that you're doing, of course, but at least that's a really good thing. So consider standing up when you can. One of the tricks I like to teach people that are in the office setting is drink a lot of water. Because when you drink water, you got to pee. And what do you got to do? You got to get up and walk. So don't go to the closest bathroom. Go to the furthest bathroom. You know, here at the studio, there's a bathroom not far from the studio I'm in, and there's one all the way across on the other side of the building. Well, if I was working here on a daily basis, what would I do? I'd go to the far one. And I do. That's what little trick we do. So I want you to keep the body in motion. You can get a pedometer. Now, don't use your phone as a pedometer because sometimes they have apps, but the phone gives off what's called electromagnetic frequencies. So it's a lot more than just eating right to stay healthy. Electromagnetic frequencies can essentially short-circuit your nervous system. That's putting it simply. And so many, even my doctors, when they come work for me, they learn about these things. And one of my doctors, Dr. Irwin, came to me the other day, and he said somebody had a little band that measures your fitness, those little fitness bands. And when she turned the app on her phone to talk to the band, she started having pain. So he tested her muscle. He pushed on her muscle, turned the app on, every muscle in her body went weak. Turn the app off, muscle stayed strong. Turn the app on, every muscle went weak. He said it was direct correlation. So be careful with your cell phones. Just get a pedometer. You can get them at any big stores. Usually carry them. Anything that has a little sporting department. Put it on your belt. Cost you about $5, and be amazed because how well you feel. Because the other thing too is you have to be monitored. Somebody's got to be checking you, and you got to check yourself. It's kind of a good thing. All right, let's go back to the calls. 844-44 Dr. Joe. Sammy, how can we make your day better?
Yes, sir. Well, let's see. I'm 40 years old, and I haven't been to the doctor in like 10 or 15 years, okay?
Right.
So it's time, to go get a checkup and all that. So my question is, what should I ask the doctor to check me for? I mean, is there something specific I should be looking for, or just a general checkup will do?
General checkup should do. You want to get things checked. If you have a cholesterol issue, then we have to figure out why your liver not only is producing too much cholesterol, but what we're finding now, the new research, is that the cholesterol oftentimes the production is normal. You're just not reabsorbing the excess. You produce cholesterol, it's being used, and then it goes back into the body and gets recycled. So you can get that checked. You can also check your A1C, which is a good idea. Your homocysteine. Homocysteine is something they don't usually check for, and you probably want to get that checked. Homocysteine measures how much inflammation there is in the body. Now, it's not specific. It could be a sprained ankle, it could be a heart attack, But the homocysteine is really something you want to check. And if you do have high inflammation, you've really got to crack down and get the diet straightened out. But a general checkup, it's pretty standard what to check. I just wish they'd add. A lot of doctors are now adding homocysteine to it as well. So get that all checked out. And if you have any issues from there, give me a call. We'll see if we can fix it for you.
Excellent. Thanks, man.
Thanks so much. I appreciate the call. Let's keep going with the callers. Johnny, how can we make your day better?
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
I'm so glad you called. Doing great.
I've called before. Appreciate your program, and just wondered if there was something related to an optical illusion that might be like a pinched nerve in the neck area or something like that. For an example, and just not all the time, just every once in a while for the past few years, if you hold your fist up or your left fist up and looking through it, if you hold your index finger up to make a curve and your thumb extended to make a curve down, it creates a C shape figure.
Okay.
And,
yeah. Well, what could happen? What could happen, Johnny?
It starts to grow and creates a prism.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what can happen is your optic nerve, of course, is where you see things. It comes in your lens and it flips over, goes onto the back of your eye, and that's how you see. And I know if my neck and my occiput, my backbone goes out of place, my vision gets blurry. And not bad. It's just it's just not as crisp or clear or high definition as it should be. And I know when I get my occiput, my skull put back in place, my vision improves. And also I have a condition called macular degeneration, which eventually leads to blindness. But when I started taking Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source about 4 or 5 years ago, it's gotten about 80% better. So that's why I like to promote the Super Greens and the Essential Source, because it gives you the nutrition that you need, and you never know where it's going to show up, and that's where it showed up on me. But, yeah, it could be a pinched nerve, absolutely. Got to go to a break. So, folks, if you have a healthcare question, 844-44 Dr. Joe. Listen, if I can't get you on the air, you can always send it to me through my website, your questions, drjoeesposito.com. I'll answer them for you there. And you can get Super Greens, Essential Source, information about my offices, my books. It's all there on the website, drjoeesposito.com. Hey, folks, don't go anywhere. Tell your friends about the show. We're going to be right back. Hey, everybody. Thanks for spending time with me today. Do appreciate that. So we're talking today about strategies that you can implement into your lifestyle every single day to try to get yourself healthy. And one of the things that I do, and this is a little secret, I'm going to share a little secret with you, my personal life, what I do to try to keep my body energy, to keep my weight down, because unfortunately I put on weight just like everybody else. And we talked earlier about sugar and how you get the sugar addiction, and it stimulates the dopamine receptor sites in your brain, and you get high from it, and you want to eat more and more and more. So it's tougher. And then, of course, as we get older, our metabolism changes. And so when it comes to keeping the body healthy, I would say about 80% diet, 20% exercise. Now, I think you should stay in motion, as I said, but diet is the one thing you have control over. And somebody called in, didn't want to come on the air. They said, what do you use instead of honey as a sweetener? Because honey is pretty high in fructose. You can use something called stevia. Stevia is fine. Erythritol is another one. Xylitol. But stevia is the most popular one. That's the one I use on a regular basis. Has over 70 different nutrients in it. And I like the flavor, actually. It's pretty good stuff. Once you start using stevia and you try eating sugar, it's overwhelmingly, disgustingly goopy, yucky flavor. And you're probably going to stick with the stevia, which is kind of cool. But something that I do is I do something called intermittent fasting. Now, I have this in my new book. It's called Prescription for Extreme Health. Great book, by the way. If you don't have it, you need to get it. And I talk about this because it really is a cool little trick, and it's a great way to lose weight. How many people are stuck? You try to lose weight, you just can't lose weight. You get to that point? Yeah, we all get that way sometimes. Like, I'm doing everything. I'm not eating. How am I not losing weight? So what happens is when you eat food, it takes about 8 hours to process the food. And then after that, your body essentially becomes a fat-burning machine. But most of us eat 3 meals a day, and there's 3 times 8 is 24. So we're never giving the body a chance to go into the fat-burning mode. So what I try to do is 1 or 2 nights a week, sometimes more, but usually 1 or 2 nights a week. If I have nothing planned, I'm done with work, I just skip dinner. And when you skip dinner, so if I had lunch at, let's say, 1, 2 o'clock, whatever, 8 hours after that, my body starts burning fat. And then I sleep. Your body doesn't need a lot of energy when you sleep. That's why it's kind of silly to have dinner and then go to sleep. That energy is just being stored as fat. And you'll be amazed how good you feel. You go to the bathroom better. You sleep better. Your energy level goes up. You'll be amazed how much energy you have when you stop eating. Because the number 1 consumer of energy is romance. The number 2 consumer of energy is digestion. So when you stop digesting and give your body an extra 8 hours, fascinating what happens. Now, I take, of course, Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, so you should too. And that gives me the nutrients that I need. So I don't have to put a lot of food in my body because I'm getting all the nutrients that I need from my supplements. And that's not in place of good food. It's in addition to good food. So try intermittent fasting. Do it 1 day a week. And you're thinking, I'm going to be so hungry. Yeah, you will. You're going to survive. Trust me. Go to a movie, go out, go for a walk. If it's warm enough out, get out of the house, and you'll be fascinated. What happens when you start skipping just 1 meal a day? Now, you could skip breakfast too, but I like to do the dinner. It's easier because then I'm sleeping afterwards. And you'll be fascinated what happens. And again, that could really be the thing that jumpstarts your weight loss program as well. Works for me really well. Let's go back to the callers. Rhonda, fellow truck driver, how can we make your day better?
Well, I have had numerous surgeries for different reasons. I've had a broken ankle from a compound fracture. I've had 4 metatarsals broken on the same foot. I have degenerative disc disease in my neck, and I'm a truck driver.
Yep.
And basically, I work a 12-hour shift.
Sure.
And I don't have time to exercise.
I understand. I used to be a truck driver. I get it.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
What would you recommend? And, diet is not something that's an option. I've also had the gastric lap band.
Uh-huh.
So fast food is convenient, but the fat in the content of the food sometimes aggravates that, and I become sick.
Okay. So let's talk about some better choices. I have that in my first book, Prescription Eating Right for the Health of It. I cover that, traveling. And if you go to my website on the bottom right-hand corner, click on that, type in your email address. I'll send you a link to a lecture I did called So What Can I Eat? And it's free. It's no charge. But what I want you to do is make better choices. Now, when you're on the road, instead of having a beef burrito, have a bean burrito. Why? Because we're trying to get those the heavy saturated fats and steroids and hormones and chemicals out of your diet. Better choice is a burrito bowl without the wrap, because I'm trying to get you off the gluten and the concentrated sugars. Baked potato, better choice than a hamburger. So you got to start thinking, what's a better choice? Look for places that have salad bars. Have a big salad. Grab yourself a trail mix when you're in the grocery store and carry that with you. Get pre-mixed salads. They have them pre-made in a package. Try to get the ones without the cheese and the bacon, of course, and eat those. Coleslaws would be a good choice. So there's plenty of food you can eat. I mean, I have to eat too. And every time you stop, I want you to walk as much as you can. Okay? Try to shoot for your 7,000 steps a day minimum. But every time you stop at a truck stop, park the truck, just walk around the building as many times as you can, as fast as you can. If it's one time, great. If it's 20 times, great. But you got to keep the body in motion. And that's going to be a real important thing. And you got to drink a lot of water. Because when you're sitting, your body is not getting a lot of hydration, and drinking the water is going to help. Then you got to stop and pee, and that'll give you an excuse to get up and walk again. So.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to do with a compound ankle fracture.
That's why I said
I've got a steel rod, 7 screws,
sure.
and it hurts. And walking as an activity is not something that I choose to do because
sure.
it hurts. So
okay.
then I've got arthritis pain and everything else on top of it.
Right. Well, the problem is that if you don't do something, it's just going to continue to get worse. And I would say
Correct.
Take a yoga class. But again, you're on the road. You're not going to find a yoga class or swim. You're not going to find a pool. So try to keep the body in motion the best you possibly can, because if you don't, the problem's going to get worse. I guarantee it. A lot of truckers. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What supplements would you recommend for that? Is there anything that
absolutely.
I can do as far as joint pain,
Yeah.
arthritis?
Dr. Joe Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, because this radio show, of course, is heard all over the world, and so many truckers tune in. So if you're a trucker, hey, truckers, fellow truckers, it's been a long time since I drove, but they take the Super Greens and the Essential Source, and they're just thrilled with it because it's very alkalizing to the system. It's anti-inflammatory. It gives you some omega-3 fatty acids. And so absolute minimum Super Greens and Essential Source. And we can always do a nutritional consultation with you. Even if you're not near my offices, we can do it over the phone, and we can then put together a more in-depth protocol specifically for you. But Super Greens and Essential Sources is the starting point.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate your call. Thanks so much. And we do get a lot of truckers. So truckers, if you're listening again, thank you so much. I appreciate all your kind words. You can always, like I said, like my Facebook page, Facebook.com/Dr. Joe Esposito, and we send out lots of good information there. And if you just send us your email address, we never give out your email address. You can get our newsletters, and it's all free. It's no charge. But let me go back to this intermittent fasting, because this is really one of the great things that I discovered, and it's amazing how good you feel. And, by the way, you save a whole lot of money when you do it. So I try to do it in the evening, and I sleep so much better. Now, in a perfect world, you would eat in about an 8-hour period and then fast for 16 hours. I don't live in a perfect world. Okay, I like to have my nutrients. I like my food, by the way. Obviously, I love my food. And so I take Super Greens and Essential Source in the morning, and I'll then usually around 10 o'clock or so, I'll have a couple of handfuls of nuts or a salad. I'll make hummus, make my own hummus. It's so easy to make. It's in my book, Eating Right for the Health of It. It takes literally 5 minutes to make, and it's so much less expensive and so much better. Somewhere in there, I try to throw in a salad. And then if I know I'm going to do an intermittent fasting fast that night, I may have a slightly bigger lunch. I may have, some stir-fried veggies with some tofu or something like that. But have a little bigger lunch. I know it sounds weird to most of you. But when you start skipping that meal, you digest your food so much better. Because when you lay down, your stomach pushes up against your diaphragm. And that can cause acid reflux and heartburn, rapid heart rate, high blood pressure. Because the same nerve that controls your stomach controls your heart. And so if you lay down and your blood pressure goes up, your heart starts racing, chances are we need to come into our offices and we can pull your stomach down away from the diaphragm, actually pull it and manually move it down. I have this condition. And so when I skip dinner, my stomach is not full and I'm able to sleep a whole lot better. Folks, got a lot more to talk about, but I got to go to a break here. I got to end it, actually. So if you have a question, you can always email me, drjoeesposito.com. Set up appointments there. Go to my website, order the Super Greens, the Essential Source, Facebook. There's lots of ways to reach me. It's not a problem. And 844-44-Dr. rings through to my office when I'm not on the air. Hey, listen, if I don't say it enough, thank you so much for listening. I know everybody's busy, and I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to spend a little time with me. Hey, tell your friends about the show. Catch you next time. It's about the show. Catch you next time.